We have had to deal with a continuous spate of K2 overdoses. Most of them have been centered around the Arch in the downtown area. By no means is this just a homeless problem, but with the concentrated homeless population, it has been most evident in our downtown area. Beginning in about 2014, April, May of 2014, we began to see huge amounts of overdoses, which turned out to be K2. They have been a total drain on our downtown police resources, as well as our EMS and fire department resources. And we have tried continuously to respond and get a handle on that. We had our most recent roundup. We began working a case in December of 2016 after another Thanksgiving outbreak of overdoses, excuse me. And our officers in the Organized Crime Division began to do undercover buys where we did video recordings, we did hand-to-hands, and begin a process of obtaining some sealed indictments to attack our predator dealers who come downtown and supply our homeless folks with the drugs. This is a several-pronged investigation. We've not only been following our suppliers upstream to other parts of the state and the country, but we're currently working cases with some international partners to try to get to the source country of some of these drugs. I think we've done our community a disservice by calling this drug a synthetic marijuana. This is no more a marijuana than if I put bleach in a martini glass and called it a cocktail. This does not have the effects of marijuana. This is a public safety and public health issue, and unless we attack it as such, we are doing our citizens, our kids, and our homeless residents a complete disservice. EMS will talk to some of the more specific medical aspects of this issue, but from the police standpoint, we were bound to attack this problem because it's a serious life or death issue, and we have at least one documented death directly related to K2, probably many more, and there will be more unless we continue to keep a handle on this problem. Commander Justin Newsom, who is our commander over DTAC, is going to talk to you about the effect that this issue has had on the downtown area and the downtown resources. Commander Newsom.
Thank you. Commander Justin Newsom, Downtown Area Command. As Commander Officer said, the K2 epidemic's a huge strain on the resources of the Downtown Area Command. Each day we respond to several cases of K2 reactions and K2 overdoses over near the Arch, but it's not always just at the Arch. Probably around 7 to 10 a day, every single day throughout a 24-hour period. Officers are responding to that, and but for the rapid response and the good work of EMS, I think we would have more deaths related to K2. In addition to the public health risk to the people who are using it, as Commander Officer says, you never know what a person on that's going to do. And sometimes they fight, sometimes they attack citizens, sometimes they stumble into the street where they're almost hit by cars. And so the effects of this, go beyond just the physical effects, but the things that can happen to somebody because they're on this, could be severe. You look around the nation at anywhere there's a high homeless population, and you'll see that K2 is the scourge of that population. It's no secret that a large majority of homeless people have mental illness. It's no secret that a large majority of them have substance abuse problems. And the predators that these guys arrested today, and my guys downtown arrested today, are just that. They prey on easy targets who are looking for an escape from their current situation, and K2 provides a low-cost, easy escape from that. And it's dangerous not only to the homeless, but to everyone who's around whenever they're using this substance. So in addition to what the organized crime unit's been doing, and we greatly appreciate it downtown, what these guys have done to make these cases on these guys. In addition to that, my officers daily, utilizing camera systems that we have access to, observe what appear to be drug transactions in and around the Arch. Officers will go in, detain those people, identify them, and there's a lot of work being done every single day to try to protect the homeless population and try to rid our city of this scourge. And so we appreciate everything that organized crime has done, and everyone else should be thankful that a lot of work's being done by the Austin Police Department to rid our streets of this substance. So now turn it over to Commander Benavides with EMS.
Thank you, Commander Mike Benavides, Austin Travis County EMS. I'm just going to echo what our counterparts here with police department have said. These things are not drugs. We even are reluctant to call them overdoses because that would lead somebody to believe that there is a proper dose, and there is no proper dose. We like to say that one hit, it's like playing Russian roulette. You know, you could die from one hit. You know, we're seeing not only the effects from the patients, but as the commanders have stated, you know, to the community, what kind of effects can have them on them. You know, other than the patients, you know, these people can act combative, and so you're putting public safety lives at stake. You're putting the community members' lives at stake, and you're also putting the patients' lives at stake. You know, we see these patients in a multitude of different signs and symptoms, from combative behavior to catatonic to seizures. It's very difficult for us to really track this with a fair amount of certainty. We are very conservative in our numbers, but this operation that Austin Police, that our Austin Police Department colleagues have conducted today, hopefully it came at a very good time, as our numbers, our K2 numbers that we responded to in the month of January were the 4th highest in the last 5 years. In December, they were actually the 2nd highest in the last 5 years. So we're in the year of 2016, we're actually averaging about 145, a little over 145 calls a day that Austin Travis County EMS is responding to. Or correction, a month, not a day. That's 145 a month. So, you know, again, we would like to thank you all for all the hard work that you all are conducting, and you know, I'll turn it back over to the commander for questions.
Commander Officer.
Well, before we get to questions, I'm going to have Lieutenant Tate, who was in charge of today's operation, step forward and talk about the specific operation. But before we get into that, one of the things I'd like to say is one of the reasons we have to attack this problem a little bit different. Crack, we can form, for instance, we're going to do a crack reversal. We can do instant test and get a presumptive test on whether it's crack or not. The thing about this poison is that the way they make this, they get their chemicals, and who knows what the chemical of the day is that they spray on this stuff. So we have to rely on our lab, who I have to say has done an absolutely fantastic job with making it a priority to test these drugs so we could get these indictments, because these were a lot of indictments that came down in a short amount of time, and without the lab test, it would be impossible to complete these cases and get into the grand jury. But they spray these chemicals on these things, and we have to do an undercover operation and then go back and get them tested and go back later to pick up the bodies, which makes this a very time-consuming and manpower-intensive process. Lieutenant Tate, whose units we're in charge of the operation today, is going to talk about the specifics, and I'll invite him up now.
Good afternoon. Today's operation.
Identify yourself, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oliver Tate, Lieutenant, Organized Crime Division, Narcotics Unit.
And Oliver is just O-L-I-V-E-R, traditional
ma'am.
spelling.
Yes, ma'am. Today's operation was a result of an extensive investigation that started right after we did our last roundup back toward the end of October. We ended up issuing or getting 42 warrants signed, first-degree felonies, for either possession of or delivery of. Ended up with 36 suspects that had outstanding warrants on them. The unit coordinated with the downtown area command officers to go out, and what we were doing was doing spotters, where we look, as you can see on the board, they look for these people, they see them, they call officers in, they go in, they make their arrest. We had 5 that were already in custody, that their warrants will be served over at the Travis County Jail. The remaining ones, they were out, they were loose. We ended up with the final result total being 10 that were newly arrested, 5 that were already in custody in the Travis County Jail. The remaining 21 outstanding warrants will be forwarded over. They will be entered into NCIC, TCIC, all officers in the department will have the ability to run those people through the system. They come back, they'll know they have a warrant, and they'll arrest them. Does anyone have any questions?
Just for any of you all, I know before, when you guys have had these news conferences, you guys have talked about the difficulty, Commander Officer, you were talking about that, the difficulty in finding these people. I mean, you know, this drug continues to change over and over again. You've got these warrants on these folks. What does the future look like? Are you still actively searching for people that are involved in this?
Oh, definitely. What happens during a lot of these roundups, the word gets out. People know, hey, don't go in this particular area because cops are over working, they're arresting a lot of people. So they will migrate out. But the past has shown they always migrate back to where they know they're gonna get their customers. And that's the downtown area because it has the flood of the most number of people in a given time frame.
So, well, for Captain Benavides, I mean, what sort of concern do you have, though, that now that this has gone down, that they will change the ingredients to this and we'll see another wave?
That's what we've been dealing with since it was discovered that this is on our street. So that doesn't change the model. I know that probably changes that model for law enforcement, maybe